Hey there, welcome back to my channel. I'm Andrea, and today I have a little bit of a short tutorial on the long stretch. If you've been following along, I've been working my way through a few fundamentals on the way to a bigger exercise in the long stretch series, the up stretch on the reformer. And so the first installment was the elephant, which is usually the first exercise in the long stretch series that you learn. And I will list all the exercises in the series in the description box below. I'll link the post where we look at the elephant. And this is part two. We're going to look at the first exercise in the series, which is the long stretch. So it's the titular exercise. The series gets its name from the long stretch. And I remember going through my training where they would say that you were, from head to heel, you were a solid piece of steel, right? Who doesn't want that for themselves in their workout? So we're going to talk a little bit about how you can work on being that long piece of solid steel, right? And we're going to play a little bit with the order because in the way that you learn them, the elephant is taught first, and so sometimes, this is a little bit of a imaginary scenario that we're making right now, but the long stretches often comes after the elephant. I mean, in the order that you learn them. And but when you do them in the workout, the elephant is the last one of the series. So we're gonna kind of go back and forth between the elephant and the long stretch to kind of see what strengths you can take from one to benefit the other. And we're gonna look at the transition of getting on and beginning in a strong fashion. So I am on the Contrology Reformer, and I'm gonna be on 2 springs. And the foot bar is up, the headpiece is up, and often a pad is placed on the headpiece for safety and for so you don't slip. If you're barefoot, it's not, you might not feel like it's particularly slippery, but I kind of use it as like that's a place to aim for when you're getting on. So the long stretch is one of those exercises that the success in getting on kind of makes or breaks the whole exercise. And you got to really start doing the exercise on the inside even before you get on the reformer. So, yeah, this is actually, I'm just laughing because I'm like, oh, this is actually really, really important. So the cleaner and more efficiently that you can get to your plank position, anything that you do very deliberately with control takes a lot more effort and sets you up really beautifully. So if your aim is the long stretch, which is the plank position, so I'm just going to get into the position so everyone knows what we're doing. The plank, yep. And then you want to try to feel like you get right where you need to be so that there's not a lot of moving the carriage, obviously, for safety, but there's not a lot of, do like meandering and then kind of getting into the position finally. So we're going to take a direct route to the exercise. So often you'll place one hand, the thumb and the fingers all on one side so you can't pull up on the bar. And then you're already setting up one leg of your plank. No pun intended, one arm of your plank. With your shoulder over your hand. And that's going to make, where you put your foot kind of far away. But you've got your stomach, you're going to be in control. And you're going to put your foot where it goes, expecting the other one to be next to it in just a moment. And then the other hand is going to go on. You're going to use your stomach so the carriage doesn't move. And you're going to place your feet next to each other and be in your plank. And then you should be able to get off again without making a big noise. And so when some people learn the exercise, that is the exercise until they can get on without any noise, right to the position, without, with still being in control. That's going to be like a big deal. Let's say we're past that. So the next thing I find that's challenging, for myself included, is anytime, you get a bar in your hands, it suddenly becomes an upper body exercise. So the ability to be in a plank where the weight of your body is on your feet, and moreover, on this moving platform that is not stable. So your body's going to be like, we don't want any part of that. We're going to stay over here. So you really got to stand in your lower body very deliberately. And I actually make it so that before I even add the second hand and leave the ground, I'm already trying to feel like, oh, what does it feel like if my body weight is over on that foot? Well, both feet really. But I'm going to shift it over to the one that's on the chair, the reformer. And I'm going to already be standing my body weight over there so that I'm now more on my feet than my hands. And that's what's going to make me use my stomach, not my arms. Yes, oh, I made a little noise. And you know, in Pilates, we love to play games of if you can do something well. We like to play games to play to the, well, if you can do it this way, can you also do it this way? So if you're in the habit of always getting on one side, you may consider what it's like to get off and on the other side so that you can have equal control as you get on one side or off the other side. Okay, so that's your Pilates homework game to play. Okay, so now let's say we've gotten on. It's beautiful. It's fantastic. Sometimes, depending on who you are, it's easy to just want to push with your arms and make this an upper body exercise and let your body kind of ride on the springs. So we're going to talk about ways that you can make it a lower body exercise, and we're going to go back to the elephant. Almost like, in the workout, the elephant precedes the long stretch. We're going to see how they can help each other. Because the elephant, your setup to stand on your feet is a little bit nicer and better. Okay, but meanwhile, we're back to getting on again. So the same way you got on for the long stretch, you've been trained, you're going to get on this way for the elephant as well. And the elephant, you're going to be all ready with your hips over your feet. Kind of, if I was sitting on my butt and you turned the camera sideways, I would look like, hopefully, spine stretch forward. Where my hips are over my feet, my stomach is lifted in and up, and I'm reaching over my stomach to push the bar away. And you might just feel like you're trying to send the top of your back down into your heels and lift the buttocks up your back and down your arm to the foot bar, so that you're really hemmed in between these points that are compressing you. And then you're standing on your feet. You're going to do the elephant. I'm just checking myself out to see if you are seeing what I want you to see. Okay, so now you're definitely on your feet here. So we're going to change the position to the long stretch. And we're going to put our feet right where they go for the long stretch. Your body weight's still on your feet. And then instead of moving your body forward, feel like you're going to lift yourself from the base of your trunk, still standing on your feet, until you are long and over the foot bar. So now I feel kind of like I'm standing on my feet, and I'm going to use that feeling of in my center to push the carriage and then to lift and pull the carriage home. And push it out and pull it in. And then I'm going to step off. So you can kind of play with the ability to stand in one and see if you can keep that and go to the other exercise. And that exercise going back and forth, actually let's do it a couple times because it's sort of a little bit reminiscent of the later exercise in this series, which is going to move around within the exercise. So let me get back on for the elephant. And then I'm going to do an elephant. I'm going to come to the long stretch and do a long stretch. And then I'm going to use my stomach to stand me back on my feet to come back to the elephant. And I kind of feel each time I change, I notice if I'm standing on my feet or not. That was a little bit better. I tend to leave my feet in the long stretch. So play this game, see how you do. And anywhere in the studio that you have to do a standing exercise, start to notice how you use your stomach, how your muscles are all working together in exercises where you actually are standing like a normal person, not in a push-up position, not kind of your body in space, but something where everything's kind of easier to feel like it's where it's supposed to be, on top of each other. And notice how you do that all around the studio, especially, things where you get to lie down on the Cadillac so that you can have an idea that everything actually is lined up. And that will continue over time to build in the strength of knowing where that long line is in exercises in space. Because we kind of have a lot of those exercises in space. The hanging pull-ups is another place where you can be, from the mat, and then you're lifted up to hang in the air in a long standing position. So all of those places all around the studio can help you. Thank you so much. If you have questions about this exercise, please, let's have a chat about it in the comments below. This is a straightforward, exercise we teach all the time, but it's not easy to do. Thank you so much for watching. And do look in the links below. I do have online classes that I teach Tuesday through Fridays. Bring your workouts and whatever apparatus you have to an online class, and you'll get tips, tricks, and some suggestions. And you'll be in a company of like-minded practitioners. Thank you so much. Have a great workout, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!